Hello everyone, it's Serena and I just got home from the gym and a pedicure. Just fun facts, I get a pedicure almost every single time before I go out to the woods because my feet are gonna get jacked while I am in the woods typically. So I go get a pedicure. Anyways, I'm broadcasting from my kitchen. You're currently propped up on my rice cooker. And I wanted to show you all just a little bit behind the scenes of what I do when I'm preparing for a big trip like this. So for those of you who don't know, I'm heading out to the land that Heather Ash Amara bought, and I'm her assistant. Her community magic maker and assistant, oh love. And she has this amazing project where we're going out to, I believe it's 180 acres is the land that she has. And so they're out there right now, but I had some stuff so I couldn't leave this weekend, but I'm leaving on Monday around 4 a.m. And I'll be there for 8 days. And so we'll be 8 days off the grid in beautiful Las Vegas, New Mexico, not Las Vegas, Nevada, although that could be fun if you like bright lights and loud people and crowds. I don't. So I'm gonna go out in the woods and be in community / by myself simultaneously. But anyways, so I told you all that I would show you a little bit behind the scenes and also give you some tips and tricks on how to travel. And for me, a lot of this process is how do I not basically completely negate all of the healthy things that I do, all the nourishing things that I do for myself when I go out to on a road trip or head away from home. And so part of that for me is being super prepared around food, because I know for myself that when I eat like fast food while I'm driving for 9 hours, for example, or 16 hours or 21 hours or whatever, that when I do that, my ankles swell and it's terrible. And then I spend the next 3 days being miserable around my body because I decided to grab something on the go that probably wasn't the best for my body. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with eating fast food. I love to eat fast food sometimes, but I know after spending last year, I think I was on the road 170 days last year or something like that. It was a lot. That basically on the trips where I had a plan and I had snacks with me, it was really great. And when I didn't, I felt awful. And when I feel awful, it's really hard for me to show up 100%. So what I started doing and what I started committing to for this year was around devotion. And part of my devotion is devotion to treating my body as a temple and to being prepared. So I bring in the warrior energy of let's get this done, let's put these things in place beforehand, so that when my goddess energy comes in and my dreamer energy comes in and it wants to, go play and do all sorts of things, I still have structure in place, which is super helpful. So the first thing that I want to show you all, and I'll break this into different chunks throughout the day just as I'm going through my process. I wanted to get on now because my oatmeal is cooling down. It's super hot. And so I'm going to have oatmeal here after we get off. So the first thing I like to do is just have everything laid out that I know that I'm wanting to take with me, like from the pantry, for example. So I pulled out nuts. These are just raw pecans. And I like to do the pecan halves or the pecan pieces because I typically put it into a trail mix or a granola, which I'm going to show you how to do as well. And for me, that's the easiest way to do it. You can also buy whole pecans, or you can do pecan halves and then break them up with a knife. So if you just have a big knife like this, then you can put them out on a cutting board and chop them up. or you can lay the knife on its side and crush them, which is kind of fun. The other things that I love to take with me are bars. So I have a meal plan. I work with a nutrition plan and a personal trainer, and so I'm on a meal plan, and I want to be able to get as close as I can to my meal plan while I'm on the road. So I love to buy the venison epic bars and the chicken sriracha epic bars. And the reason that I like these two specifically, and the salmon one is actually really good as well, is that they don't have a ton of fillers in them, and there's also no sugar. In the other epic bars, a lot of them have maple syrup or honey or something like that, and these ones do not. So for the chicken one, there's chicken, red pepper, dried garlic, sea salt, paprika, celery powder, dried onion, black pepper, and cumin and oregano. And that's it. So it's basically meat and spices. So that's really nice. And in the venison, there's venison, sea salt, celery powder, cracked pepper, onion, and garlic. And that's it. So that's really nice. This is Daryl. You can see his tail. That's kind of fun. So I have my epic bars. I take those with me. And then the other things that I like to do, and what I'll say about this is you can choose whatever combination of nuts or seeds that you like. I choose specific ones because I have allergies to almonds, and that is in most produced trail mix, or they have sugar in them. And I'm going to show you how to do it with or without sugar when you make your own trail mix or you make your own snacks. And I do so without almonds. So I have raw sunflower seeds. I have walnuts, halves and pieces. And here, because I buy in bulk sometimes, these are macadamia nuts. So, Daryl, are you eating my oatmeal? So these are macadamia nuts. Actually, we're just going to eat that because it's delicious. I have unsweetened coconut flakes. My favorite is this one and the Trader Joe's one. So, this one's by Bob's Red Mill, and then the Trader Joe's one is pretty good as well. The Trader Joe's are smaller flakes, and these ones are a little bit larger, but it really doesn't matter. The key thing for me is that they're unsweetened, because a lot of coconut flakes will be sulfurated, and they'll also have sweetener in them. Excuse me, Daryl. Move. I also really like pepitas, which are pumpkin seeds, so I'm taking those with me as well. And then gluten-free rolled oats. And so, with the exception of the Epic Bar, all of these things are going to go into my trail mix, so I know that I have those. But I also wanted to show you a few other things that I love to take with me as well, so that I can just be prepared in case something shows up. So I love the organic fair trade cacao powder that they have at Costco. So it's unsweetened, it's high in antioxidants, and I just like to add it to things. So I don't put it in my trail mix necessarily, but I will have like a small container of it with me, typically a little travel container, and I'll just have that with a small spoon, and that way I can sprinkle it onto things as I'm going about. So if I end up grabbing a yogurt, I can make it into chocolate, which can sometimes feel like pudding, which is helpful if I have a sweet craving. Maybe throw a packet of stevia in there depending on the yogurt. And then if I have a protein shake or something like that, then I can also add cacao powder. I also love coconut water. It keeps me hydrated. So if I know that I'm going to go out and walk the trails for 6 or 8 hours at a time, then I like to stay super hydrated. So I always have my hydro flask. This one's 32 ounces, this one's 40 ounces, slightly bigger. But the hydro flask, what I love about it is that I can put ice on it at base camp and it'll stay for 3 or 4 days sometimes, which is really nice. You can also put your coconut water into your hydro flask if you want, but I always have coconut water and hydro flask typically as my water bottle. Some people also really like the Yeti. There's other brands. I just the Hydro Flask has been the one that I've stuck with and actually used. I bought all sorts of cups, and for whatever reason, my grip on the Hydro Flask is my favorite. Other things that I typically put in my trail mix if I'm adding certain things. So if I want to add more fats, I can add coconut oil. So this is the Costco organic virgin coconut oil. And then organic agave nectar. Right now, the nail plan I'm on doesn't have a high level of fat, and so I'm probably not going to use these on mine, but all you do is heat them up over the stove, not in the microwave, and then gently drizzle them onto the trail mix. If you are going on a plane, this is a really nice thing to have, or if you just know that you don't want to mess with peanut butter in a jar. So this is PB2, it's powdered peanut butter, and so it's great in yogurt, you can put it in shakes, you can just mix it with water and have peanut butter. And then I love crunchy peanut butter, and I also get unsweetened peanut butter. So again, I like to have options. I love to have things that I know that are going to feel nourishing to me and that are going to also curb like cravings that I have. So I don't believe in having like depriving ourselves. I think that we should have things that are comforting to us and that are supportive of us. And if we keep basically, if we keep depriving ourselves of things, eventually what we're going to do is, at least for myself, is that I typically tend to binge eat. And so I don't want to do that. So I want to make sure that I have some things that are high in fat, high in protein, are going to keep me lasting a long time, and or are things that are comforting to me in some way. And then I also love canned tuna. So you can get cans, you can get pouches. This is the albacore from Costco. That's solid white tuna. I also have some chunk white albacore, no salt added, from 365, which I think is from Whole Foods. And so I like to have tuna with me because it's a quick protein that I can have. I can crack a can open while I'm on the trail. I can crack it open while I'm at base camp, and it's super simple to just eat out of the can. There's not like a whole lot of stuff you have to do to it. Okay, I saved the best for last. One of my favorite things to take with me, actually it's second to last, one of my favorite things to take with me is potato chips. And the reason for that is I know that if I'm having a French fry craving and I'm about to die of French fry overload, of like wanting that French fry, that salty, that crispy feeling. I have a slight addiction to French fries. And so I just don't eat them. But what I can do is if I'm having that feeling sense of like I really just need that, then these are the potato chips I get. And so this bag will be my backup emergency sort of bag. And so this brand is One Potato, Two Potato, kettle potato chips, naked sea salt. And so, hi Daryl. And so the only things in this are potatoes, sunflower oil, and sea salt. And so they're lovely. So that's sort of the overview of the types of snacks that I take with me, of the items that I like to have on hand, and sort of my ideas behind why I do that. And I'm going to show you how I make my granola / trail mix, which is that I get a big bowl, and those of you that have been following me for a while know that I'm an intuitive cook, so I typically don't measure things. You can use measuring cups if you want, if that helps you, but in general, I don't really care. So I'm actually not going to use these. I just want to show you what they look like. Hello, measuring cups. So you can use measuring cups. My favorite thing in the world to do is just to open things up and dump them together. Excuse me, Daryl. So I'm going to try to reposition this. There we go. Maybe that'll stay. Maybe it won't. Okay, I think you guys can see that. So what I'm going to do is take, for example, my pepitas, my pumpkin seeds, and I'm just going to grab 1, 2, 3, let's do 4. I'm going to do 4 handfuls and just dump it into my bowl. And then I'm going to open up the raw sunflower seeds. Carol, get out. No. Bye-bye. I'm going to open up the sunflower seeds and I'm just going to dump in a good layer. That looks pretty good. And then I'm going to open up the walnuts. And again, I'm just like sprinkling them in. I'm like, oh, that looks good. And then the pecan halves. Macadamia nuts. And then I actually think I have some open oats in the pantry. Ow. Okay, so I already have some open oats in the pantry. They're the same ones. I just have them in the pantry. So I'm going to take a couple scoops of just raw oats. And pour that on top. You know what? We're just going to finish the rest of it. And then I'm going to sprinkle some cinnamon on top. And then I'm just using a spatula like this to mix everything around. I should have got a bigger bowl. And then that's essentially it. You just mix it around, and then I just take this on the go with me. So what I can do after I mix it all is that in the mornings or while I'm on the trail, if I want to have sort of like a cereal out of it, I can do that. All I have to do is take non-dairy milk and mix it with this. And like I said at the beginning, if you want to have more fat in this, or you want it to be sticky, so this is a dry mixture. If you want it to be a wet mixture, you can do that. So if I want it to be wet, I'm gonna add the agave nectar and the coconut oil. You could also do pure maple syrup, which is also a nice touch. And all you do is after you get all your ingredients in, then you would just melt your coconut oil and drizzle your agave over this mixture in the bowl. And then the final piece is the coconut flakes. So I always add the coconut flakes in last, and depending on the coconut flakes that you have, they may have more moisture in them. If they have a lot of moisture, you want to keep those separate, because what that will do is essentially cause mold to grow in your dry mixture. which you definitely don't want. Yuck. So I keep mixing. If you want to, you can mix vanilla in with it, like if you're doing the wet version. If you put vanilla in the dry version, it's not really going to do anything other than get some of your oats wet and or make things moist, which you don't want. So that's what that looks like. And that's about it. And so this is one of my favorite things because it's super simple. You throw it all together. You can't do it wrong. Actually, you can do it wrong. Well, maybe not wrong, but not ideally. So this one time, I thought I was grabbing cinnamon, but I actually grabbed cayenne pepper, and that was not my favorite. So I ended up putting other spices in it to make it more spicy, like savory, but that was not my favorite. So anyways, hopefully that's helpful, gives you guys an idea of what happens behind the scenes for me. The other thing I typically take with me is tea and protein powder, and this time, for the first time ever, I'm taking coffee with me as well. So I will do a separate video to show you all, you know, what my setup is for that and what I take with me. So hope you enjoyed this behind the scenes look. I'm gonna bag this up, and I just put it in a big Ziploc and then throw it into my backpack. So super easy. The other thing you could do if you wanted, if you had space, is keep it in something like this. Although this isn't a bad idea for at camp, so I may do that. Anyways, another day. Thank you all for joining me. I'll talk to you later.